At the end of the film, someone asks, oh, hey, isn't that Rey? Rey who? And then she says, Rey Skywalker. Okay, so we have some new news on the possible rumored opening of Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. So we're going to go to this article here, and I'll give you my thoughts on it. This is from makingstarwars.net, so, again, it's a rumor, so take it with a grain of salt. But here we go. So this is starting off with after the crawl, the iconic crawl, and then we have this. So after the crawl, you see the camera pan down towards a planet covered in trees. We see a blue... Wait, before I go on, spoiler alert, if you don't want to know any of the rumors, then don't watch this. Turn it off, come back after the movie's out, and, watch it in December. I should have warned ahead of time. Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. I don't want anyone getting mad at me for this. Okay, so camera pans down. We're on a planet in trees, and we see two lightsabers dueling each other, a green and a blue lightsaber. Both of the lightsabers are held by two Jedi with white helmets and visors covering their faces. We cannot immediately recognize if this is Rey or someone new. The two Jedi break from their duel and remove their helmets to reveal it's Luke Skywalker and Leia Organa, looking exactly like they did during Return of the Jedi. So the exact age as they did in Return of the Jedi, and it's on Endor's moon. So a couple things just right off the bat. A, it's not two Jedi. It's one Jedi training, I guess, a Padawan. Leia would not be a Jedi if it's the same age of, that they were in Return of the Jedi. She would have just started training. So a minor detail, but still, it's not two Jedi. It's one Jedi training his Padawan, I guess. And it's on Endor's moon, so either they put up camp on Endor and stayed a while, or this happens like immediately after Return of the Jedi, in which case she's definitely not not a Jedi. And it says they're wearing helmets with visors, so I'm guessing it's like I'm sure this is training. I don't think this rumor had been out before, and some people were thinking that they might be actually fighting. I very highly doubt that. I think it's probably a training. So that's that. Let's say it says, I should note that we believe Rey is a Palpatine who at the end of the film and renames herself a Skywalker. Yeah, I've heard that before too, that Rey is apparently going to take the name Skywalker. At the end of the film, someone asks, oh, hey, isn't that Rey? Rey who? And then she says, Rey Skywalker. In the British accent that I did terribly there. I think we should also note that the crew members believe this to be the first sequence of the film, but we could always be a little off with how edits change. Yeah, they're reshooting things right now, so, again, these could have been leaked on purpose to throw people off, or it could change if they're reshooting things. You don't know if this is actually how it's going to end up in the actual final cut of the film, but, okay, so it says, that said, if it's currently, this is the first scene of the film, and it features a young Luke and Leia doing Jedi business. So now that you see Leia to do amazing Mary Poppins moment in now that you've seen her do this amazing Mary Poppins Superman moment in Last Jedi, I guess this is cluing you into the fact that she was trained, so it won't seem like she just has this force ability out of nowhere, which, I guess they're basically trying to retcon a lot of the mistakes of The Last Jedi, and I think there's too many to do properly, but... Okay, so then it goes on to say, CGI Leia Organa in The Rise of Skywalker. Sources have continued to state that Leia is in The Rise of Skywalker a lot, even though we were told otherwise. The story needed what it needed, and the production has done whatever is needed, a lot of neededs, to make that happen in this film. It seems like a good guess they haven't corrected this earlier statement to keep the importance and the size of her role under wraps. While some of the Star Wars Force Awakens elements were reused, I have further heard that Billy Lord was filmed on set and handled the performance side of things when Carrie Fisher could not be used. Okay, so I guess they are going to use her daughter, Billy Lord, as a stand-in and then CGI the face to Carrie Fisher's, I'm guessing. Okay, planetary confusion. There's a lot of confusion with this movie. We're assuming that Luke and Leia's sequence then takes us to Leia and Rey training in the moments we saw in the D3 special look. You'll notice in the shot of Leia... Okay, so So I'm guessing this is going to be kind of like maybe a memory. Leia's remembering the past of her training with Luke in the forest, and then all of a sudden, we'll be into the current part of the movie with Leia training Rey in a forest. So I guess maybe this would be like a flashback thing for Leia, sort of remembering the past, what she had done with Luke before. Even though we'd never seen that before. But, I think you do need to have some kind of training with Leia. If you're going to give her the abilities you did in Last Jedi, we need to buy into that somewhat. I don't buy into the space thing, but, flying in space. I don't know if there's any kind of training that would be enough to, fulfill her flying through space. But, okay. So we still don't know for certain if the planet we see young Luke and Leia on is Endor. Okay. We may not even know what planet they're on until we read the novel, to be honest. Yeah, novels end up filling in a lot of gaps for the films. We don't know for certain if Leia and Rey are on a different world from that training flashback scene either. It could be the same planet. All right, then we've got this worm creature thing that, other people have given it other names. But the two side notes of the other characters are Claude and Maz. Officially, we just know that Claude is brought into the Resistance by Chewie. What they didn't tell you was he's an action movie. Okay, that's a very funny. Making StarWars.net, very funny. I'm told Claude is aboard the Falcon from the start of the movie, and he exits the ship. And this was his life as a crew member aboard the Falcon in this film. While looking into what Maz Kanata's role is in the film, sources say it is small in the film as well. See, that's another character I kind of liked in Force Awakens. I thought that they should have expanded on her story of how she got Luke's lightsaber. Because she says, that's a story for another time. But I guess, I don't know, another time's going to be a book or comics or, I don't know, maybe one of the TV shows. Crew members believe that she is in the Resistance as at the start of the film, and we catch up with her before Rey and the heroes go off on their adventures. We then see Maz again in the film when the Resistance prepares to attack the unknown regions, where she joins them. Orange is the new black. And finally, you may remember that we had an excellent shot of an orange X-Wing from the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker last year. The recent Hasbro Vintage Collection leaks show Poe Dameron with the orange X-Wing just behind him. So I'll consider that confirmed. I'll also consider that merchandising. Way to go, Lucasfilm. Way to go, Hasbro. The circle is now complete. The main Star Wars team thinks that the rumors panned out, and the film opens with Luke and Leia training. It might be cool if the film ends with a resurrected Ben Solo training with Rey or something. That would be terrible idea. Terrible idea. No, I don't want resurrected Ben Solo. If anything, he's got to die a hero's death. That's the only plausible outcome for his character. Or just die. I mean, he doesn't have to be a hero. The rumors are he's going to be somewhat redeemed in another ridiculous scene, which I'll talk about in another video. Since the movie is about the rise of Skywalker, which can mean a lot of things, especially with the current rumors circulating, Ben's return and Rey's new last name. All right, so that's the story here of the opening sequence. I don't know. I think it would be cool to see Luke and Leia young, training on Endor. That would be a pretty cool sequence. I just am worried this movie's going to have too much of that, where it's going to be too many flashbacks and nostalgia. It could work, but I don't know. It gets you excited, but then you start thinking if it's only going to be flashbacks, then it might not pan out in the long run. But let me know what you guys think of this opening sequence. Overall, this movie's I think going to be such a mess and all over the place, and there's way too much to try to retcon for this. But I guess JJ is going to try to give it his best shot, and we'll see how he does with it. But I do think that it would be maybe, as nostalgia. I mean, they got me with this nostalgia there. I want to see Luke and Leia training. It'd be kind of cool. I don't want to see him fighting, but I'd like to see him in a lightsaber, a little light lightsaber battling back and forth. It'd be kind of cool to see that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe and share and all that jazz. And until next time, lock the doors and hope they don't have blasters.